Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Joe Rogan, Aaron Rodgers, and they're talking about the electoral process. They're talking about Biden. They're talking about Trump. They're talking about what they think is going to happen in the election, who's actually going to be running in Biden's place. And I have a theory towards the things that I'm going to show you. Let's come with me for a little ride. We also have Biden. He got cleared of all charges when it comes to the documents that he had, but he was questioned directly about his memory by one of the reporters that was in the room. Bet he didn't expect that. He also confused the Mexican border with Gaza. And then we have Trump, because Trump's on a winning streak and he's just going to be giving pretty much his victory speech. He won Nevada. He also won the Virgin Islands. So let's just get into it. Little stream of consciousness here. I have about, 6-7 clips for you. Oh, and then we have some nonsense from The View because they're crazy ladies. So we're going to hear some of their gobbledygook that they have to say. Don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. We got Sold Not For Sale shirts. We got George Orwell Was Right. And we have Public Enemy #1. Discount code is I Am Coach Colin. All capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin. Let's start with Rogan's.
One of the cold, hard realities of the evil that is war. And, you're seeing that right now, what's going on in Gaza. You're seeing the same fucking thing. It's just, that's what war is. And there's people that'll justify that all day long and saying they shouldn't have done this and, that's how it goes. But, man, if you live in Gaza, what the fuck do you do? Like, you didn't do anything. You just got the wrong roll of the dice and you're stuck in this place that's controlled by Hamas with abject poverty and no sanitation. And now it's getting bombed into oblivion. I mean, the videos, when you see what Gaza looked like and what it looks like now, it's fucking insane. And they're not stopping. They're not stopping. They're just going to keep bombing it into oblivion.
Some of that has to change. I mean, there has to be something that I don't know what it is.
Aliens.
It might be.
Might be the only thing.
It might be. I mean, it's interesting to see how much has changed, in that over the last, 15 years, just how people can talk about it now without being called crazy.
Yeah.
There's some disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went back the other day. I was watching an old, I think it was from 2018 or 19 when he had Bob Lazar and Jeremy on.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he's been talking about this forever.
Yeah.
But, like, what's going to happen with that? There's got to be something. There's been conspiracies about Project Blue Beam, and there's obviously a lot of these dumbs around the country where there's interesting technologies and stuff. But I got to think that I think this is going to be a crazy year. I think something, especially if it gets down to it, and it looks like the Trump wave is going to, because they can't roll out Weekend at Bernie's and expect him to be able to debate or actually carry a conversation.
That's the plan. I think the plan is you wait until it becomes extremely obvious that Biden can't do it, and then they pull him out. And I think they probably put in Gavin Newsom. That's what I think.
He's hated, though, in California.
Yeah, but there's enough zombies out there that'll just blue no matter who, and he's our guy. They don't care. They're like, no one could have California's just the population is too high, and it's like, what are you going to do? And they'll come up with some sort of a reason, and he'll move a little bit towards the middle. He'll do some common sense things and get people to go, all right, I like that, and that'll be enough.
Well,
anyone but Trump people, but look at the fucking View. Whoopi Goldberg saying that if he's gonna, you might be poor, and you might be saying, well, maybe Donald Trump be better for the economy. He's gonna put you in camps. Did you see her saying that?
No, but I'm not surprised.
Put you in camps.
Nobody watches that. Who watches that show?
Crazy old ladies. Crazy old ladies are at home right now.
But instead of if you look at this two-party system and go, who's the lesser of the two evils? I would say, how about let's fuck the two-party system and let's have some more options. And one of them, in my opinion, is RFK, who's phenomenal.
Well, they kept him off the ballot. They did a phenomenal job of making sure that he wasn't in the primaries the same way they were going to do it with Bernie Sanders.
That's why he went independent.
Yeah.
But get him in a debate.
Yeah.
Why do we have to wait till fucking September for a debate?
Well, how about the fact that he won't debate, nor will Biden? No one's debating. This is the first time we've ever had a presidential election where neither the incumbent nor the main guy on the opposition is debating.
So Trump said he's not going to debate?
He's not debating anybody.
Why? He'd mop the floor.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So he's like, fuck you, I'm not debating. And also because they keep trying him. They keep bringing him into court. There's all these cases that they keep bringing up. They just lawsuit into oblivion. It's the whole thing is
it
wild.
just emboldens his followers, though.
Yeah, it does. It has the exact opposite effect. I mean, it's a similar sort of playbook in a lot of ways to what they did during the pandemic, where the more they attack him, the more people are like, what the fuck is true?
Yeah.
Because I don't believe you guys anymore. And when you're going after him, I kind of think that you're just doing this because you don't want him to win. And that's banana republic shit. When you're prosecuting your political opponents, specifically because you don't want your political opponents to be able to make it to the vote, that's banana republic shit. That's
what we're living in.
Yeah.
We have a captured media system. We have a captured medicine system.
Yeah.
We have
education system.
Captured education system.
Yeah.
And we're Team America World Police with bases all over the world. It's every country on the southern and the eastern border of Russia.
What I'm hoping is, one of the things that's happened over the last few years specifically is the deterioration of the trust of media because of the access to information that people have now, where it's just undeniable. At a certain point in time, they have to admit certain things, like lab leak theory. They have to admit certain things. They're avoiding, like the plague, this all-cause mortality increase. But enough people are aware of it. Enough people know people that have been vaccine injured. Enough people know people that have died. Enough people know young people that have had heart attacks. Where there's enough suspicion and there's enough pause where people are reconsidering, and then there's been this silent shift to the center of people that were like radically left. Friends of mine that I had in California that were fucking so left, far left, and now they're like ready to vote Republican. They're literally ready to vote Republican because they don't want this anymore, because they see where this is going. My hope is that with AI and with even more access to information, because the information just streams and it moves on and innovation moves on no matter what we do, that it's going to get to a point where lying is virtually impossible. And I think that's where this kind of emergent technology leads us to, unless some other superpower gets a hold of it before we do.
But don't you think I agree with you 100%. I would just say with AI, haven't we seen enough examples already of some hardwired coding of information that is like a little bit woke?
Yeah, we have. But then there's Grok, which is Elon's AI, which is the opposite of that.
Is it? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't used it either, but the idea is that it's supposedly the antidote to that. I think there's enough people that don't want that. And it just, as time goes on, look, even the fucking New York Times wrote a major story about detransitioners. So people that were convinced at an early age that they were trans, and now...
It's very odd, okay? So I let the clip run a little long, but there's this odd change of subject because he doesn't go back into talking about the AI technology. He just goes into this whole talk about detransitioners, which is really weird because Aaron Rodgers had a great point. You know, you're talking about this technology being so good that people can't lie, but we've seen from the very beginning that it had signs of being woke. Not even had signs of being woke, had signs of being influenced by the people who create it. And then he says Elon Musk's. Well, that's just going to have traces of whatever Elon believes in. And there's certain things that Elon may believe in that you don't. So there's no way in sight that you can see where that technology won't be controlled by somebody. You know? So I don't think that's the answer. I don't know how he gets the AI being the answer because, listen, even if you want to go, and I'm going to play the next clip. I'm going to play the context of what he's talking about, Whoopi Goldberg said. I'm going to play that in a second. But even if you go with the mindset that AI is going to get to the point, it's going to bring us to a point where people can't lie anymore. How is it going to do that? So either we're all going to have it in us, right? Or we're going to have to go with what Klaus Schwab's right-hand man said, who is, his name is Noah Yuval Ahari. He talks about algorithms getting to the point when you're looking at a screen like this, the algorithm will be tracking your eyes. It'll be tracking where you're going. Did you go to my shirt? Well, then it's going to show you ads for my website. Did you go to this picture? Well, then it's going to show you stuff about Joe Rogan. Did you focus on the microphone? Then it's going to show you that. And then he also talks about the algorithm getting so advanced that it'll be able to track what you are on your sexual preference spectrum to see if you're 30% this and 20% that. Either way, what he's talking about gets too intrusive. It just does. So I don't think that's the answer at all. AI is not the thing that's going to save us. It's definitely, and again, think about it has to be installed in everybody. Do you think that the people in Congress today are going to say, yeah, go ahead, put it back of my head? Oh, top, okay, go ahead, and then I won't be able to lie? Okay. I won't be able to lie about anything. Cool. They're all going to do that. Sure they are. They're all going to say no. They're all going to be like, we're not doing this. Are you crazy? So there's so much that would have to happen for something like that to happen. I think just get better people in office is the actual key. Let's go with Whoopi Goldberg and what she had to say about what Donald Trump is going to do when he gets in office.
Interesting for me is that people's faith in the country is waning.
Yes.
That's the thing that's pissing me off, because in fact, there's a reason Joe Biden ran the way he did. There's a reason he's running for democracy now, because that's really what's at stake. You worried that you can't pay your bill? Wait till the other guy becomes president, and you won't have to worry about it because you'll be in some camp somewhere, because that's his promise. His promise to us is he's going to force people to do his bidding. That's what he said. I'm going to be good on day one, and I'm going to turn into this other person. So here's the deal. This is all up to you. This is all up to you. We can sit up here till we're green in the face. But this really comes down to the people. What is the country you want? Do you want the country that you kind of thought you had, where we all get to say what we think and we don't have to be afraid of being American? And believing that, yeah, there will be people who come in, and some will get in quick, and some will take a different route, but they're coming here for a reason, because they're living in a place that's not good for their families. If you're okay with that, you understand that, then fight for us to find a better way to make immigration work. Fight for that. Don't fight for keeping
everybody out, because then we all have to leave. That's what she actually said. What is she talking about? Nothing of what she just said was right. Even the expression, tell you're blue in the face. She said, tell you're green in the face. Hey, you're just making things up. What's wrong with you? It's so weird. And like Joe Rogan said, it's just a bunch of old ladies watching it. It's so weird. It's so weird to hear. He's going to put people in camps. And the weird thing is, this is what you really have to watch when you watch certain people talking about things, especially mainstream stuff. It's almost like they're threatening you. It's like an indirect threat. Like, you ever been in the car with somebody? I used to have a friend. I don't like this person anymore. But they would have these weird indirect threats where they'd be driving. They'd be like, wow, if one of you guys don't drive the car, I'm so tired, I might just crash. And we're just like, hey, man, don't threaten us. Why are you indirectly threatening everybody? She's just like, if you elect Donald Trump, you're all going to camps. That's just what's happening. Like, what? And then positioning Biden as being somebody that's running for democracy. Hey, listen to me close. Biden's not running for anything. He's walking. Anyway, let's get into what we were talking about at the beginning. Biden won't be charged in classified docs case. Special counsel cites instances of poor memory. So the special counsel, the people that they assigned to look into this, actually said that he has poor memory. Now let's go into this a little deeper. President Joe Biden has disputed the claims that the Department of Justice special counsel Robert Hur, that he willfully retained and disclosed classified materials as a private citizen, and that he exhibited poor memory during the interview about the material. Biden disputed the report, saying his memory has not gotten worse. Hur's report stated that Biden's practices present serious risk to national security, and that he portrayed himself as an elderly man with poor memory. Let me make sure you guys can see the rest here. An elderly man with poor memory. This is nothing that we already know. You know what I mean? But it's just always good when somebody in a professional seat sees it as well. Who would be sympathetic to a jury. Biden's age and presentation would make it difficult to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that he was guilty of willfully committing a crime. The White House counsel's office asked special counselor Robert Hur to revise some of the language in the report on the investigation into Biden's handling of classified documents. Man, this is such 1984 stuff. We're going to get into the clip of him actually being questioned by this great reporter. But the fact that this person sees it, They see that he has poor memory. They talked to him. They had to interview him about this. And that they're like, your memory is so bad that a jury won't even think you did this on purpose. A jury will look and see you and hear you talk and know that you just did this by accident. Wow. So don't worry about it, sir. You can leave the room. Just continue running the country. Go ahead. You're fine. You're fine. Let's get into this clip here. This is where Biden is actually questioned. Let's go here.
Something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's
How
totally
bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad I let you speak. That's
Do you feel
my
your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory. Take a look at what I've done since I've become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? You know, I guess I just forgot what was going on.
Mr. President.
Voters have concerns about your age. How are you going to assuage them? And do you fear that this report is only going to fuel further concerns about your age?
Only by some of you.
Mr. President.
Biden, something the special counsel.
Only by some of you. The rest of you that have concerns, I won't remember any of you. Goodbye. It's been fun being at Disneyland. Which way is off the stage? Very interesting. Very interesting because they didn't even laugh. He made a joke. You know, my memory's so bad I let you speak. They were like, no, sir. This is very serious. Sir, no jokes. This is actually very serious. Interesting stuff. Not just one reporter, but another reporter. So they are taking concern, which is interesting. And here's the thing, the past interesting. Let's just forget the word interesting. This is getting very real. So here he declares that Mexico is on the border of Gaza. It's pretty hard when people are like asking about your memory and you're like, my memory's fine, and then this happens.
As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate. I talked to Bibi to open the gate on the Israeli side. As you know, initially...
You guys don't know what I did to fix this country. I got this country back on its feet. I opened the border. You know how long it took me to open that border. I opened the border on the first day. We've gotten 19 million illegal 19 million illegal immigrants are on our soil today. And we don't know who any of them are. You know how hard that was to pull off? If my memory was bad, would I not remember that it's 19 million? I increased our population. People say it's 380. It's actually close to 420 million people. I only know about 4 of those people. I got the country back on its feet. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then this is the last one, just a real quick one. Just him talking about the special documents. Very, very quick.
You know, the special counsel released his findings today about their look into my handling of classified documents. I was pleased to see he reached a firm conclusion that no charges should be brought against me in this case. You know, the special counsel released
no charges whatsoever. And it's funny because he's disputing what the counsel's saying. This counsel's like, you're good because I see how bad your memory is. I get it. And he's like, no, my memory's fine. So shouldn't the counsel be like, okay, well then I guess you did this on purpose? Doesn't that make sense? Kid gloves, just big, like, you know, those gloves that they have at like baseball games, the little finger gloves, those are the gloves they use to handle Biden. More than kid gloves, just soft, big, huge teddy bears. Just stick your hand inside a teddy bear, both sides. Those are the type of gloves they use to handle Biden. Absolutely ridiculous. But in better news, Trump is on a winning streak. It's absolutely crazy that he won Nevada. But he also won the Virgin Islands. I'm not hearing too many people talk about that. I know it's not the biggest thing, but it's another win. It just doesn't stop. So we're going to hear just this quick clip here, and then I'm going to play Trump actually speaking.
Now, Trump has gained another win in his bid to become the Republican Party's presidential nominee. The former president has won the Nevada Republican Presidential Caucus. Earlier, Nevada held state-organized primary polls on Tuesday in which Nikki Haley was beaten into second place on the Republican ballot by, and I'm quoting here, none of these candidates. It was widely seen as a proxy vote for the property tycoon. That result, however, was meaningless, with Nevada's GOP declaring months ago that it would award its delegates from Thursday's rival caucus, a format that strongly favors Trump. Haley badly trails Trump in the overall race for the nomination and is on course for another drubbing in her home state of South
Carolina. And I'm quoting this, none of the above. That's so funny. And I just played that clip because that's some world news. This is people, obviously, you can tell by her accent, she's in India, and they're seeing this, you know. Sure, they're following because Nikki Haley, you know, they're following closely, but she lost to none of the above. Trump touches on that just a little bit in his victory speech. These are just some of the highlights. Let's go.
I want to really thank the great people of Nevada, because this was a turnout. I don't know if you know, you broke the all-time record. The all-time caucus record was broken. You know, if we win this state, we easily win the election in November. We have to win the election. And last night, you know what happened last night, right? None of the above. So I'd like to congratulate none of the above. I was one of those none of ever aboves. I was one of them. No, I watched that last night, and they won by 44 points. None of the above. Our Supreme Court hopefully will be doing something in terms of helping our country and preserving democracy. We have to preserve our democracy. And I think they had a very, very interesting day and a very beautiful day, perhaps. I think it was really a very beautiful sight to watch, and it's the way it's supposed to be. And hopefully the decision will be a very important decision. If we win the state of Nevada, it's over for them. And our country's going to be better, more beautiful than ever before. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We love you. God bless you.
So there you have it. Trump wins Nevada, and he's right. It's over for them. That was a big win, very pivotal win, and we'll see what happens in November. Okay, obviously you gotta give a little bit of respect to the candidates. So Nikki Haley is there, but I just don't see it happening, and I get so wary. Not even so wary. I know the jig is up. Once I see you getting endorsed by SNL, like, I don't know if you guys saw it. SNL always dings me for copyright when I use their stuff because I'm never talking about them in a positive light. Never watched the show once. Terrible show. But they had Nikki Haley on, and then she is speaking with somebody who's playing Trump, and they're trying to make Trump look bad, and they're trying to make Nikki Haley look good. And then that's all I need to see. I see what's happening. Once Hollywood, and I mean the woke of Hollywood, attach onto a candidate, I know that candidate's up to no good. 100% I know that candidate is up to no good. That's what happened with Obama. That's what happened with Biden. Every time you see that, they're up to no good. No good whatsoever. When you have Cardi B and Offset, like, vote, come on, black people, vote Biden. When you have Jay-Z on stage dancing around, vote for Obama. Ridiculous. You have Diddy with the vote or die shirts and stuff. Nah, nonsense. The jig is up once I see that. Once you have demons on your team, yeah, I know what's going on there. But here's my theory, just closing out. I think the fact that they're willing to go at Biden like this, actually ask these questions, because when do they ask him questions like this? They don't. I think what Joe said may be correct. I think they're going to, because here's the thing, it's a known thing. These journalists, these reporters that are in those rooms, they're in those rooms for a reason. They don't get guys like Tucker Carlson or Matt Taibbi or Michael Schellenberger. They don't have those type of people in those rooms. There's only people who are a part of the program, who are agents in the whole system of things. Those are the people who they get in those rooms to ask those questions. So the fact that they were asking those questions, and I say they because it was 3 reporters who wanted to touch on that, who wanted to put focus on his memory and how bad it is and question him about it. When you start seeing that, I start thinking maybe the deep state is at work to make Biden look as bad as possible, and the next thing you know, he can't do it, and then they do put in Gavin Newsom. That's my only thinking, because when I see this, I'm like, the machine that's been working for him, handling him with the huge plush kid gloves, are all of a sudden now kind of working against him. Just makes me think, like, what's going on? Because they do see, they must see that him up against Trump, it's going to be rough. He can't debate. There's nothing he can do. At least Gavin Newsom, if he stepped in, he'd be able to debate Trump. He would lose. It would be terrible, because Trump would just point at California and everybody would be like, yeah, I remember California. I remember when it was a great state, and now it's that. So I don't know. I think Joe might be onto something. I've been thinking this for a little while. I thought Michelle Obama for a while. I thought they were positioning her. Then that whole thing happened with the chef. And then Tucker Carlson did what he did when he interviewed that guy who said all those things about Obama. So from there, I was like, they're not going to do it. Gavin Newsom is still relatively clean, could relatively still be pushed in front of people as somebody who doesn't have too many skeletons in his closet that we're aware of. Whereas the Obamas, it's like, there's a whole bunch of things that we can bring up about them. And you guys know the big one, right? Mike or whatever. Is it Mike? Michael? But yeah, that's just my thinking. I think that's actually happening. And there are those blue no matter who type people. I mean, I was just watching Bill Maher, and I feel so bad that I don't have the clip ready for you guys, but I was just watching Bill Maher and Patrick Bet-David, and they were talking, and Bill Maher's like, oh, Gavin's a winner, he's the best, and Patrick Bet-David's like, based on what? He's like, you're results driven. Like, what results have you seen from California? And Bill Maher gets so mad, and he's like, oh, man, come on. And he basically just changes the subject. He just thinks, he's like, I love the guy. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. Makes a bunch of excuses. Exactly what Joe said. He was the poster child for exactly what Joe said. But anyways, guys, like, subscribe, share. It helps the channel tremendously. You have no idea. And other than that, I'm out.